Hi everybody, welcome to week 2 in astronomy, and this week it is all about light. And light is so important in astronomy. This is the tool that astronomers use to get all of our information from the stars. The color of light, the frequency of light, the wavelength of light. If the frequency is getting higher or going down, called the Doppler effect, we can tell if a star is moving away from us or moving towards us and how fast. It is by using light that we can tell the chemical composition of stars, galaxies, and planets. If we see a star light dim a little bit periodically, that's a big clue that there's an exoplanet or something orbiting that star. So light is the primary tool in astronomy, and we're going to spend this week just learning about the wonderful topic of light. So I'm going to give us a little tour of the week's overview of what's going to happen on Canvas, and I want to spend some time talking about the lab. So let's go over to Canvas and take a look around. So this week we're going to start by talking about light and the notes, the PowerPoints. Remember, you can always download those from the Google Slides. If you bought these from the bookstore, if you bought the packet, you have those and you do not need to purchase them again or download those again. You have got those. When we're done talking a little bit about color, we're going to get into the whole electromagnetic spectrum. That's everything from infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, gamma radiation, X-rays. We look at all of those that are coming from outer space. This week's study guide, just like past study guides, this is keyed directly to the book. Please fill this out. Remember, if you have the packet from the bookstore, you can fill this out. Please scan it in with your phone and upload it as one complete document. If you prefer to type, write in here, save it, and upload it that way. That works just fine as well. This little video talks about how to submit documents. I think I had it earlier, so you don't have to watch that again. Next, we're going to get into stellar temperature. The color of stars is vital and important in determining how hot they are. And heat in stars has a lot to do with their life cycle. Stars start out young and hot, and they end up old and cold. It's just like people. It's the way it works. If we analyze the spectra, the individual wavelengths given off by stars, that's how we determine their chemical composition. So we're going to spend some time explaining and analyzing that. And that Doppler effect, which you have heard when a terrain goes by and the frequency shifts and goes vroom. I guess that was a car, not a train. That tells us a lot about if the star is approaching or receding. And then our friends from the Big Bang are going to talk about Doppler and make us giggle for a few minutes. So let's spend a moment or two talking about our light lab. Now, our light lab for this week, we're going to start out having you review what you know about the electromagnetic spectrum, and answer some questions about that. Then I'm going to have you analyze this black body curve. These are black body curves from various stars. Use this chart to fill in this graph down here. You're also going to have to look at star classification. To fill in this part of the chart, you're going to need this chart right here, the stellar classification graph. Now we're going to refer to this chart often throughout the semester. This is an important part of astronomy, and we will explain more parts of it as the class unfolds. We are once again going to use your class action software that you downloaded earlier, and I'm going to give you detailed instructions on how to find the specific simulation you're going to use for every single week. And this time we are going to look at one involving black body emitters, and stars happen to be black body emitters. We'll talk more about this specifically in lecture. You're going to use this particular animation, the black body curve simulation. And so follow the little instructions and fill out this chart here. Then I'm going to ask you to look up online the constellations Aldebaran and Sirius, which are two very important stars in the constellations Taurus and Canis Major, and identify those and mark them on those two pictures. Light bulbs. When you buy light bulbs at your favorite hardware store, nowadays in the modern world, they give you a temperature in Kelvin, which doesn't make sense unless you really understand black body curves and their emission. So after you've watched the lectures, I want you to look at this picture, look at the peak of the black body curves, and can you match which black body curve peak is going to go with which one of these light bulbs. Now, my friends, I'm going to apologize right here. If you have a challenge seeing color, and I understand some people have different rods and cones inside their eye, please ask a colleague or a friend for some assistance because you're going to need to see color for this lab. If that is 100% impossible, communicate with me and we'll work something out. But color is very important in astronomy. Types of spectra. There are different types of line spectra that are produced by stars. I want you to watch this little 2-minute video that will help just give you the background information you need right before you do this part of the lab. Again, a simulation from that class action software that you downloaded. I want you to go through the simulation, fill out this little chart, answer these questions. And then one of the most important parts of the lab, I'm going to ask you to use everything you've learned so far to look at these 3 unknown element spectra and identify them. Now, every lab is worth 20 points. This section is going to be worth 5. It's a quarter of your grade. Can you accurately identify them just by looking at the colored lines? Now, right this moment, you might be going, holy moly, Mary, I can't do that. It's not so bad. By the time we get to this point in the week, you will understand how to do that. Also, on the astronomy lab itself, see this green bit right here where it says emission spectra for gaseous elements. I want you to open that chart up and treat this question in the lab as a multiple choice question. These are your choices. Okay, you don't have infinite choices, you have about 10, and these are your 10 choices right here. Can you match those with these? And that is going to hopefully assist you tremendously. It's a matter of looking carefully, and part of science is careful observation. Last simulation I want you to work with today is the class action simulation on the Doppler effect. Again, follow the little yellow brick road, fill in the blanks, and that should finish this week's astronomy lab. Light is a basic tool. We're going to use information about light throughout the entire course. And as always, if you have questions along the way, please holler. Have a great week. It's a fun and colorful week in astronomy. All right, have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.